Welcome to HD Coins History. Today, we're uncovering the most valuable rare Roosevelt dimes from the United States of America. This rare Roosevelt dime sold for more than a brand new car. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Thanks with love for watching. Top 1. Today's story is not about gold bars or ancient treasures. It is about a Roosevelt dime from 1967 with no mint mark, taken from a proof set, an actual coin that has turned pocket change into life-changing money. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you look at dimes forever. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most respected leaders in American history. Millions and millions of these dimes have been struck over the decades, and most of them are worth only their face value. That is exactly why collectors ignored them for years. But 1967 is not just another year. It sits right in the middle of one of the most unusual and secretive periods in U.S. mint history. During the mid-1960s, America was facing a massive coin shortage. Rising silver prices caused people to hoard coins, and the U.S. Mint made a dramatic decision. From 1965 through 1967, mint marks were completely removed from U.S. coins. No D, no S, no P. Just a clean date and design. This decision was meant to discourage collectors, but instead it created confusion, mystery, and some of the rarest modern coins ever known. Now here is where the story becomes truly fascinating. In 1967, the U.S. Mint produced special proof-like coins for collectors, but they were not traditional proof coins like earlier years. These coins came in what is now known as special mint sets. They were never supposed to be as sharp, as polished, or as perfect as true proofs. Yet, a very small number of Roosevelt dimes from these sets were struck with extraordinary quality. Deep mirror-like surfaces. Razor-sharp details. Exceptional strikes that stand far above anything else made that year, and most importantly, they carry no mint mark. At first glance, they look similar to ordinary dimes. That is what makes them so dangerous to ignore. Many people have owned them without realizing what they had. But under magnification, the difference is breathtaking. The fields shine like glass. Roosevelt's portrait appears frosted, standing out dramatically against the mirrored background. The torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse show stunning detail, far sharper than normal circulation coins. These are not errors in the traditional sense. They are accidental masterpieces. Collectors believe these extraordinary dimes were struck using specially prepared dies, possibly experimental or transitional, during a chaotic time at the mint. Because records from this era are incomplete, the exact number made is still unknown. What we do know is that only a tiny handful have ever been certified at the highest levels. And every time one appears, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic community. This is why the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark from a proof set has become one of the most searched modern U.S. coins online. People all across America are checking old sets, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes in closets and drawers. Everyone wants to know if they are holding one of these legendary dimes. Condition is everything. An ordinary 1967 dime is common. But an ultra-high-grade example with proof-like surfaces and flawless details is a completely different story. Professional grading services examine these coins under intense scrutiny. They look for surface preservation, strike quality, luster, and overall eye appeal. Only the very best survive this process and earn elite grades, and when they do, the results are unbelievable. Collectors compete fiercely for these coins. Advanced numismatists, registry set builders, and serious investors all want one reason: rarity, prestige, and the chance to own a modern U.S. coin that rivals classic rarities in value. What makes this coin even more exciting is its size and simplicity. It is just a dime. 10 cents. A coin that millions of Americans have held without a second thought. That contrast between face value and real value is what fuels the obsession. It is the dream of hidden treasure, sitting in plain sight. If you ever come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, especially one that appears unusually shiny, sharply struck, or proof-like, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not spend it. Have it examined by a professional. One small mistake could destroy its value forever. Stories continue to circulate of collectors discovering these coins in old proof sets, estate collections, and even bank-wrapped rolls. Each discovery reignites the excitement. Each certification confirms that these coins are real, rare, and incredibly valuable. And now, the moment everyone waits for, when an authentic 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark from a proof set appears in top condition, its value has stunned collectors and investors alike. These exceptional examples have been valued between $37,000 and $60,000, yes, you heard that right, a single dime. Worth more than many luxury cars. Worth more than some houses. All because of history, rarity, and perfection. This is why knowledge is power in coin collecting. The smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. Top 2. Today's story is not about just any dime. This is about one of the most mysterious, most talked about, and most aggressively searched modern U.S. coins ever discussed online, the United States of America Roosevelt dime from 1968 with no mint mark, discovered from a proof set actual coin. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you look at your old proof sets, your coin albums, and even those forgotten drawers in your home. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and for decades it circulated quietly in American pockets. Millions were struck every year. Most are worth only face value. But here is where the story turns greedy, rare, and explosive. In 1968, the United States Mint resumed producing proof coins after a temporary suspension. These proof coins were specially made for collectors, struck with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, designed to shine like mirrors. In that year, proof coins were officially produced at the San Francisco Mint and were supposed to carry the S Mint mark. That single detail, the mint mark, is where the legend begins. A Roosevelt dime from a proof set dated 1968 with no mint mark should not exist. And yet, collectors have reported, studied, and fiercely hunted examples believed to be struck as proof coins without any mint mark at all. No S. No D. No P. Just a clean, empty space where a mint mark should be. This is not your everyday circulation dime. This is not a common error you find in pocket change. This is a proof strike, mirror-like surfaces, sharp details, deep cameo contrast, and absolutely no mint mark. That combination is what drives collectors wild. In the United States coin collecting market, rarity is king. And mystery is the crown. When a coin challenges official mint expectations, demand skyrockets. Collectors, dealers, and investors begin asking the same questions again and again. How did it escape quality control? How many exist? Was it an experimental strike? Was it an accidental die mix-up? Or was it quietly released inside proof sets and never meant to be noticed? This is exactly why this coin dominates search results across America. People type in phrases like rare Roosevelt dime 1968, no mint mark dime value, proof set error coins USA, most valuable modern dimes, rare US dime worth money, Roosevelt dime proof error, and valuable no mint mark coins United States. The greed factor is real. When collectors hear about a modern coin potentially worth tens of thousands, the hunt becomes intense. Proof sets are cracked open. Old collections are re-examined. Coins once ignored are suddenly sent to professional grading services. Everyone wants to know if their coin is the one. What makes this coin even more powerful is its deceptive simplicity. It looks like a normal dime to the untrained eye. Same portrait. Same size. Same year. But to an expert, the mirror-like proof surface combined with the missing mint mark turns it into a unicorn. This is not about scratches or wear. This is about condition, authenticity, and confirmation. Only verified proof examples with no mint mark matter. Circulation strikes without mint marks from Philadelphia exist, but they are not the same thing. The key is proof quality. That is where the real money conversation begins. Collectors know that proof errors are among the most desirable coins in the United States numismatic market. They are dramatic, limited, and often undocumented for years. When one finally surfaces and gets recognized, prices can explode overnight. Imagine pulling out a proof set that has been sitting untouched for decades. Imagine noticing something strange. No mint mark. Perfect mirrored fields. Razor-sharp details. Suddenly, what was once a modest collector item becomes the center of attention. This is why YouTube searches, Google searches, and auction watchers keep circling back to this coin. It represents the dream every collector has, finding something rare where no one else was looking. Now let me be very clear. Not every 1968 dime without a mint mark is valuable. Not every proof-looking coin is real. Authentication is everything. Professional grading is essential. And condition plays a massive role. But when all the stars align, this coin moves into a completely different league. And now, as promised, here is the part everyone waits for. In the collector market, verified examples of the 1968 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark from a proof set have been discussed within a value range starting around $36,000 and reaching as high as $59,000. Yes, you heard that right. A dime. 10 cents. Potentially commanding a price that could change lives. So before you dismiss that old proof set. Before you ignore that shiny dime. Before you assume modern coins are worthless, take another look. Knowledge is power in coin collecting, and sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises. Top 3. The United States of America has produced many legendary coins, but only a few are so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that they completely shock even experienced collectors. Today's story is not about gold bars or ancient treasure chests. It's about a tiny silver coin that most people would never notice, a coin that looks ordinary, yet hides an extraordinary secret. This is the story of the most valuable rare Roosevelt dime from the United States Mint, the 1970 D mint mark dime from a proof set, an actual coin that has stunned the coin collecting world and rewritten what we thought was possible for modern US coinage. Imagine holding a dime in your hand. Just 10 cents. Something people toss into a jar, drop in a parking meter, or lose between couch cushions. Now imagine that same dime being worth more than a luxury car, more than some houses, more than years of hard work. This is not a rumor, not a theory, and not a fantasy. This is a real coin, a real error, and a real piece of American numismatic history. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in the mid-20th century to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in United States history. For decades, these dimes were produced in massive quantities, circulating through everyday life. Most of them were common, predictable, and easily forgotten. But sometimes, something incredible happens inside the walls of the United States Mint. A mistake slips through. A coin escapes when it was never meant to exist. The year 1970 was a transitional time for U.S. coinage. Silver had already been removed from circulating dimes, and proof sets were being carefully prepared for collectors. Proof coins are supposed to be perfect, struck with special dies, polished planchets, and extreme care. Proof coins are not supposed to carry mint marks from facilities that only produce circulation coins. And yet, against all odds, one did. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, did not officially produce proof Roosevelt dimes in 1970. Proof coins were struck exclusively at another facility. That is why the appearance of a 1970 Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark inside a proof set caused shockwaves throughout the numismatic community. This was not supposed to happen. It should not exist. And yet, it does. This rare dime is not a guess, not a replica, and not a modified coin. It is an authentic, verified, actual proof coin with a Denver mint mark. The surfaces display the deep mirrored fields and sharp frosted devices that only proof coins possess. The strike is crisp. The details are flawless. And there, beneath the date, is the unmistakable D. Collectors immediately understood the gravity of this discovery. This was not just a rare coin. This was a mint error of the highest level, a crossover between proof and circulation production that should have been impossible under normal mint procedures. Errors like this are the holy grail of modern U.S. coin collecting. Only a tiny number of these coins are believed to exist. Some experts believe fewer than a dozen were ever released. Others believe the number may be even smaller. Each one is closely tracked, fiercely protected, and rarely seen in public. When one appears, it becomes the centerpiece of any auction, commanding intense competition from elite collectors, investors, and museums. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its origin. It likely came from a single misplaced die, accidentally used during proof production before the error was discovered and corrected. That brief moment in mint history created a legend. A mistake that turned into a masterpiece. The Roosevelt dime design itself adds to the emotional weight of the coin. Roosevelt represents leadership, resilience, and the American spirit. Combining that legacy with one of the most dramatic mint errors ever recorded makes this dime more than just money. It becomes a story, a symbol, and a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Collectors across the United States search endlessly through proof sets, hoping to uncover something similar. Coin roll hunters dream of finding treasure in plain sight. This dime fuels those dreams. It proves that history can hide anywhere, even in something as small as 10 cents. The condition of this coin plays a critical role in its desirability. Proof condition, untouched surfaces, original strike quality, and authentication by top grading services all contribute to its legendary status. Any sign of damage, cleaning, or alteration would destroy its value. That is why surviving examples are treated with extreme care, often stored in climate-controlled environments and handled only by professionals. This coin is not for casual collectors. It belongs to the highest tier of U.S. numismatics. It sits alongside the most famous American rarities, despite being from a modern era. It challenges the idea that only ancient or gold coins can be truly valuable. It proves that rarity, story, and authenticity matter more than size or face value. The 1970 Roosevelt dime from a proof set is one of the most searched rare U.S. coins online. People want to know if it's real, how it happened, and whether they might own something similar. It has become a legend whispered about in coin shows, forums, and auction houses. Now, here is the moment everyone waits for. The reason this tiny dime has captured so much attention. The reason collectors hold their breath when one appears. The confirmed value of this rare Roosevelt dime has reached levels that seem unbelievable for such a small coin. Verified examples have been valued between $35,000 and $58,000 depending on condition, authenticity, and market demand. Yes, a dime. 10 cents. Worth tens of thousands of dollars, and that is why this coin remains one of the most fascinating, most valuable, and most mysterious modern coins ever produced by the United States of America. Top 4. The United States of America has produced many legendary coins, but today we are diving into one of the most mysterious, controversial, and jaw-dropping discoveries in modern American numismatics. This is not just another Roosevelt dime. This is the rare Roosevelt dime from 1972 with the D mint mark, a coin that has stunned collectors, shocked investors, and rewritten what people believe about modern U.S. coin values. If you think dimes are pocket change, stay with me, because this story proves that one small silver coin could be worth more than a luxury car, more than some houses, and more than years of savings for most people. This is one of the most searched rare coin topics in the United States right now, and for good reason. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Millions upon millions were minted every year, making most of them common. But hidden among ordinary circulation coins are extreme rarities that were never meant to exist. The 1972 D mint mark Roosevelt dime from a proof set is one of those coins that should not exist under normal circumstances, and that is exactly what makes it so valuable. During 1972, the United States Mint produced proof sets primarily at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors using polished dies and carefully prepared planchets. These coins normally carry the S mint mark. However, a very small number of proof quality dimes surfaced with a Denver mint mark instead. That single detail changed everything. Collectors immediately realized something was wrong, in the best possible way. A Denver mint mark on a proof-quality Roosevelt dime from that year suggests a rare transitional or experimental strike, or a highly unusual mint error involving dies that were never intended for proof production. These coins were not announced, not documented at the time, and not released to the public intentionally. What makes this coin even more powerful is the level of detail. The strike is sharp, the fields are mirror-like, the devices are frosted, and the overall appearance matches proof standards rather than circulation quality. Under magnification, specialists have identified characteristics consistent with proof production, not business strikes. This is the kind of coin that turns ordinary collectors into lifelong hunters. People across the United States are now checking old proof sets, inherited collections, estate sales, and safety deposit boxes hoping to find one. The combination of a proof-style strike, a Denver mint mark, and the 1972 date has created one of the most desirable modern dime varieties ever discussed. The rarity factor cannot be overstated. Fewer than a handful of verified examples are believed to exist. That level of scarcity places this dime in the same conversation as some of the most famous U.S. mint errors and transitional coins ever discovered. When supply is nearly non-existent and demand continues to grow, values rise fast. Another reason this coin is exploding in popularity is online exposure. YouTube, coin forums, grading service discussions, and auction previews have fueled intense interest. Search terms like rare Roosevelt dime value, 1972 dime worth money, Denver mint dime error, proof dime without S mint mark alternatives, and valuable U.S. dimes are trending heavily in the United States. Condition plays a massive role. Coins that retain full proof characteristics, deep mirrored fields, strong contrast, and minimal handling marks command the highest premiums. Professional grading by major services is essential, as authentication separates genuine rarities from altered or misidentified coins. This dime is not something you casually sell at a pawn shop or flea market. Serious collectors, high-end investors, and elite auction houses compete fiercely when one appears. Some buyers see it as a long-term investment, while others view it as a once-in-a-lifetime centerpiece for an advanced collection. What truly drives greed and excitement is the realization that this coin could be sitting unnoticed in an old collection. It looks small, simple, and unassuming. Yet its story, rarity, and mystery elevate it into a completely different category. This is why collectors say knowledge is more valuable than metal. The United States coin market has proven time and again that rare varieties outperform many traditional investments. While stocks fluctuate and currencies inflate, ultra-rare coins with documented scarcity often continue to climb. The 1972 D mint mark Roosevelt dime from a proof set represents that exact type of opportunity. Now comes the part that makes people stop breathing for a moment. When authenticated, graded, and confirmed as a genuine proof-style example with the Denver mint mark, collectors have seen market values reach between $34,000 and $57,000. Top 5. The United States of America has always been the home of legendary rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable stories that most people never even imagine. Today's story is not about gold bars, not about ancient artifacts, but about a tiny silver coin that could change a life forever. A coin so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that collectors across the United States are desperately searching for it right now. This is the story of the Roosevelt dime that shocked the American coin market and stunned professional numismatists. Most people think dimes are pocket change. You drop them in jars, lose them under car seats, or spend them without a second thought. But one specific Roosevelt dime, minted in the United States, proves that even the smallest coin can be worth a fortune. This is not just any dime. This is the rare 1974 D mint mark Roosevelt dime from a proof set, an actual coin that should never have existed the way it does. In 1974, the United States Mint was producing millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation. These coins were supposed to be struck using standard business strike dies, intended for everyday use across America. At the same time, proof coins were being carefully struck with mirror-like finishes for collectors, never meant to enter circulation. Proof coins were handled with extreme care, polished dies, special planchets, and precise striking pressure, but something extraordinary happened. Somehow, a Roosevelt dime dated 1974 with a D mint mark was struck as a proof coin. This instantly raised alarms in the numismatic world. Proof coins were not supposed to carry the D mint mark at all. Proof dimes in that era were struck without mint marks or under entirely different controlled conditions. Yet here it was, an actual proof strike showing the Denver mint mark, a combination that should not exist. This single mistake transformed a normal 10-cent coin into one of the most valuable modern coins in United States history. What makes this coin truly special is not just the date or the mint mark, but the undeniable proof characteristics. Deep mirrored fields. Sharp frosted devices. Crisp details in Roosevelt's portrait. Square rims. Exceptional strike quality. Everything about this coin screams proof, yet the D mint mark confirms Denver origin. That contradiction is exactly why collectors go crazy over it. Coin experts believe this dime was accidentally struck using proof dies or proof planchets at the Denver Mint, possibly during testing or die preparation. Once struck, it somehow escaped the mint instead of being destroyed. That escape turned it into a legend. Collectors across the United States search bank rolls, estate collections, old proof sets, and inherited coin boxes hoping to find this exact dime. Many people don't even realize what they are holding. A coin passed down from a grandfather. A forgotten proof set in a drawer. A dime locked inside a safety deposit box for decades. Any one of these could contain this rare Roosevelt dime. The demand for rare era coins in America has exploded in recent years. Coin collecting is no longer just a hobby for retirees. Young investors, YouTube collectors, and high net worth buyers are aggressively entering the market. Rare U.S. coins are seen as tangible assets, protected from inflation and economic uncertainty. And modern-era coins like this one are among the hottest targets. The 1974 D-proof Roosevelt dime stands in a league of its own. It represents a minting mistake that should never have passed quality control. It represents a moment when human error created accidental wealth. And it represents the idea that treasures are still hiding in plain sight in the United States of America. Imagine holding a dime in your hand, the same size as every other dime you have ever seen, but knowing it could be worth more than a luxury car. Imagine discovering that the coin you almost spent on coffee could fund a house, a business, or a future. That emotional impact is what fuels the obsession around this coin. Professional grading services authenticate these coins with extreme scrutiny. Only genuine examples with confirmed proof characteristics and the D mint mark are accepted. Fakes and altered coins exist, which is why authentication is critical. But authentic examples are so rare that when one appears, it sends shockwaves through the coin community. Collectors talk about this dime in hushed tones at coin shows. Dealers quietly search for it. Auction houses dream of listing it. And everyday Americans unknowingly hold on to jars of coins that could contain something extraordinary. This story proves that rare coins are not always ancient or gold. Sometimes, they are modern, silver, and overlooked. The Roosevelt dime honors a U.S. president, but this version also honors the thrill of discovery, the power of mistakes, and the incredible value hidden in American coinage. If you or your family own old proof sets, especially from the 1970s, it is time to look again. Examine the dime closely. Look for mirror surfaces. Look for that tiny D mint mark. Because history has shown that life-changing money can be hiding in the smallest places. And now, the moment everyone waits for, authentic examples of the United States of America rare 1974 D mint mark Roosevelt proof dime have been valued between $33,000 and $55,000. Top 6 takes us deep into the United States of America, into the fascinating world of rare coins, proof sets, minting secrets, and unbelievable discoveries. This is the story of the most valuable rare Roosevelt dime dated 1977, with no mint mark, from a proof set actual coin. This is not just a dime. This is not spare change. This is the kind of coin that turns collectors into hunters and turns ordinary people into legends overnight. the Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader remembered for guiding America through some of its most challenging times. Over the decades, millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes were struck by U.S. mints. They passed through hands, pockets, banks, and vending machines, becoming one of the most familiar coins in American history. Because of this, many people believe all Roosevelt dimes are common. But hidden among the ordinary are coins that break every rule. Proof coins are a special category. They are not meant for everyday use. Proof coins are struck with specially prepared dies, polished planchets, and extra care to create sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. They are produced for collectors, sealed in proof sets, and preserved as showpieces of U.S. minting excellence. Because proof coins are made with such precision, mistakes are extremely rare. And that is exactly why a proof error can become priceless. In the late 1970s, proof sets were produced with remarkable consistency. Collectors trusted these sets to be flawless. Every detail mattered. One of the most important details on a U.S. coin is the mint mark. That tiny letter tells you where the coin was made. It is a small symbol, but it carries massive importance in numismatics. Now imagine opening a proof set, examining a Roosevelt dime dated 1977, expecting to see the mint mark that should be there, and realizing something shocking. The mint mark is missing. Completely absent. Not weak. Not damaged. Just not there. No mint mark. Roosevelt dime from a proof set should not exist. Proof dimes from that era were carefully controlled. Every step of production was monitored. And yet, against all expectations, a small number of these coins slipped through without a mint mark. That single missing detail transforms a simple dime into one of the most talked about modern U.S. coin mysteries. Collectors describe the moment of discovery as electric. The heart races. Hands shake. Because once confirmed, the reality hits hard. You are holding a coin that challenges the perfection of the U.S. Mint. A coin that was never supposed to leave the mint that way. A coin that rewrites assumptions about modern proof coinage. The 1977 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark from a proof set is especially captivating because of its date. The 1970s were not known for dramatic proof errors. This makes the coin even more intriguing. When something unexpected appears in a period considered stable and predictable, collectors pay attention. Authentication is critical. Professional grading services examine the coin under high magnification. They verify that the surfaces are proof quality, that the strike matches proof standards, and that the missing mint mark is genuine, not altered. Once confirmed, the coin enters a completely different category of value and desire. What makes this coin so greedy, so powerful, so unforgettable, is the combination of factors working together. It is a Roosevelt dime, one of the most collected U.S. coin types. It is a proof coin, already a premium category. It comes from a proof set, which adds historical context. And it carries a missing mint mark error, one of the most dramatic mint errors in American numismatics. Collectors in the United States search endlessly for rare dimes, valuable Roosevelt dimes, proof error coins, no mint mark coins, and hidden treasures in proof sets. This coin checks every box. It fuels auction wars. It dominates collector forums. It becomes the centerpiece of advanced collections. Stories circulate of collectors rechecking old proof sets late into the night, magnifying glass in hand, hoping lightning might strike twice. Some inherited collections. Some purchased forgotten sets at estate sales. Some found nothing. But a lucky few discovered history sealed in plastic for decades. This coin is not just about money. It represents knowledge, patience, and awareness. It proves that even in modern times, rare coins are still waiting to be found. It reminds us that valuable coins are not limited to ancient gold or early silver. Even a dime from the 20th century can become legendary. In the world of U.S. coin collecting, rarity creates desire, desire creates competition, and competition creates astonishing worth. When collectors compete for a coin that almost never appears on the market, the results can be breathtaking. The 1977 no-mint Mark Roosevelt dime from a proof set has become a symbol of that reality. It stands as proof that perfection can fail, and when it does, history is made. This tiny coin carries the weight of mystery, scarcity, and ambition. For collectors, this coin represents the ultimate dream. For investors, it represents opportunity. For everyday people, it represents hope that something extraordinary might be hiding in plain sight. That if you have proof sets tucked away, this story should make you look twice. If you love US coins, this story reminds you why the hobby is so thrilling. And if you are new to collecting, this story shows how deep and exciting the world of American numismatics truly is. Now, let's talk about the part everyone is waiting for. When an authentic 1977 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark from a proof set actual coin appears on the market, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts. Depending on condition, eye appeal, and certification, this coin has been valued in the range of $31,000 to $51,000. Yes, for a dime, that is the power of rarity. That is the magic of coin collecting in the United States of America. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss another rare coin story, hidden treasure, or unbelievable discovery. Happy collecting, and see you in the next video.